Hello, I'm Paula Nowak from Canine Country Academy, and in this video we're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts to preventing resource guarding. I work with a lot of cases that have issues with resource guarding. Resources might be their food bowl, toys, bones, even people, even some objects you wouldn't even think would be something a dog would want to guard. When you think about dogs, while they're not wolves, they do descend from wolves, and wolves believe what's mine is mine. You can see a good example of this if you go to Wolf Park in Battleground, Indiana. I've been there, I've seen the wolves, and wolves believe what is theirs within their vicinity, and they decide what their vicinity is theirs. If another wolf comes over and tries to get the deer carcass they're working on, that may not go so well depending on if it's their pup or maybe another wolf that is an adult. So what I want to share with you in this video is things you can do to prevent resource guarding, because we don't want to create resource guarding. Now, if you have an issue with your dog already resource guarding, you need to find a professional immediately. Please do not take this video nor anything else online and try to apply it to your dog. Because when dogs resource guard, one of the things they may do, aside from growling, showing teeth, hackles up, is they may very well bite you. And we don't want that. A bite is very personal, and it makes us think of not living with that dog anymore. So if you're having issues with resource guarding or think you may, please reach out to a professional that is a behavior consultant or a licensed veterinary behaviorist, and you can check those things out. I'll put links down below as to how to find a good vet behaviorist or a good behavior consultant in your area. So here are the do's and the don'ts for preventing resource guarding. Our number one don't is don't put your hands in your dog's food bowl. Yes, we're concerned that our children or young people may come close to a food bowl or put their hand in the food bowl. But by putting our hand in the food bowl and messing with the dog, we're actually potentially creating resource guarding. Does it work for some dogs? Sure, some dogs will be fine with that, but they may be fine with it forever. We want to be careful that we're not near their food bowl causing annoyance. This would be like me trying to get into your food at the dinner table. You might get annoyed with me and get me with that fork. So do not put your hand in your dog's bowl while they eat to prevent resource guarding. The second don't is don't take things from your dog without giving them something better. So I'm not going to take the bowl when there's food in it and give it back to the dog. They might get annoyed. Don't take the food bowl from your dog until they're ready for you to take the food bowl. The same goes for chews or toys, other things your dog finds valuable. We don't want to just take them from the dog. So if I give the dog the bone, I'm going to let the dog have the bone, and we'll talk about what you can do to get it back, but what you don't want to do is just snatch it up from them and expect them to be okay with that. That's super annoying. Another don't is don't interact or touch your dog while they're eating. Allow them to have their meal in peace. Give them a quiet place, not a high traffic area necessarily. Their crate, another room. This goes for kids. Make sure the kids know. Don't interact with Petunia while she's eating because she might growl or be annoyed. Do you like being messed with while you eat? I know I don't. Don't touch your dog while they're eating. So what should you do to prevent resource guarding? Well, make sure to follow the don'ts. But there are definitely things you can do if you're worried about your dog developing resource guarding. Some people are worried because they lived with a dog before that resource guarded. Or you have young children who might get close to your dog and you're concerned. Or there might be a specific breed that you're concerned about. There's really no specific breed that resource guards more than another. Yes, some dogs are natural guarding dogs, guarding property, guarding things, but we want to make sure that we prevent as much resource guarding as possible. You can work on this by following some of our do's. If you are worried about your dog resource guarding, or you want to do prevention, one thing you can do aside from following the don'ts, is to add food to their food bowl. So that way hands coming in equals something good. For example, maybe use hot dogs or chicken or cheese, something that is special that they only get while they're eating. So I have some cheese here for my stuffed dog, here Petunia, and if she was eating her meal, I could just toss some cheese towards her bowl. You want to do it at a distance the dog feels safe. Who cares if you don't hit the bowl? The dog's going to have a good time getting that food out of there and will look forward to you coming close. If they're showing any signs of fear or stress or tension, stop this immediately and get professional help. So now we've given Petunia a trachea, something special. And you know what? It's time to kind of wrap this video up and do something else. And she's not done with it yet, but I can't supervise her anymore and I need to take it away. We want to teach dogs that giving something up, whether it's something they're allowed to have like a bone or a toy or a ball, is a good thing. The same is true of taboo things like socks or chicken bones, things like that. So giving something up to a human is great. So what we want to do is approach with something better. So we want to get something a little higher value. I don't know if Petunia is going to feel that the Colby cheese is higher value. She'll tell us. But if I go to give it to the dog and the dog drops what they have and then they take the cheese, I want to immediately pick up the bone. If it's too high value, start with something lower value, such as a different kind of bone or a toy or a ball, something they're willing to give up. And eventually you could teach them to drop it. And we'll have another video on how to teach that. But we want to make sure the dog is willing to give it up. If she started to back away, well, that would be terrifying since she's fake. But if she started to back away or show teeth or get a little stiff or really grab her bone, this is not the method to use. What we could do to get the item while we work up to trading straight from the face is to toss the food a little bit away. And then if the dog goes and gets it, we can snatch the bone. If we try to trade and the dog seems good with it, but then grabs the bone while we're still trying to give cheese or they've eaten the cheese and they go back to the bone, we need to offer another piece of cheese. We don't want to get into this tug of war trying to take the item. That can create frustration, and we definitely don't want to frustrate our dog. We want giving things up to us to be awesome, and it's a great safety thing too, because some dogs, if they think you're going to take something, aside from maybe acting out aggressively, they might swallow whatever they have. And sometimes we just want to know what they have. Maybe it's something that they hid and now they're eating it and we thought it was maybe something they shouldn't have. So offering something to the dog so they'll spit it out and that we can see what it is and pick it up or let them have it. And again, we'll talk about in a different video how to teach a nice drop it or release depending on what you want to use. But for now, trade the dog, or if they're not comfortable, toss a little bit away. Let them go get the cheese or whatever special thing they like, and then you take the bone. We want the dog to relinquish the item, to willingly give it up and not create conflict. That's where we get some resource guarding. What questions do you have about the do's and don'ts of preventing resource guarding? Feel free to post in the comments down below. If you know anyone else who's concerned about resource guarding, you can also hit the share button and share it with anyone who might find this of value. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more how-to videos about dog training and dog behavior from Canine Country Academy.